Good evening. Happy Friday, everybody. We're going to jump right into it because we're not fucking around tonight. Hey. Happy Friday, guys.
Hey, everybody.
I wanted to get started right on time. Oh, is it raining really hard up in Oh, Peachy, paste your channel in the chat. Is it raining really hard in Tennessee, you guys? I'll make sure to tag them in the chat. I just never know who's going to show up, so I don't put them in the chat until after the live is over, but yeah. Hey barbecue, happy Friday. I was feeling a little sick and feeling a little bit better now, and I'm pretty happy about that. Well, here's the thing. I was scheduled to go live at 6, and my countdown is 2 minutes, so I figured I would go live at 5:58, so I started right at 6, right? Trying to be like on fucking time. Memphis is a washout. Oh shit.
You did good.
How's Georgia? Peachy, how's Georgia?
We're okay here. I think Atlanta got some. I mean, some places were worse than others, but we're okay over here where I am.
My good friend Jen lives in southern Georgia, and there's holes in her roofs. Like, she lives in an apartment, and her entire apartment is flooded. It's really bad. Sucks. Hi, Dan.
That sucks.
So we're gonna just do a little, not experiment, but demonstration kind of tonight. And I'm really interested in what the chat has to say, because it's really, I haven't seen Clue live today, Ethan. Barbecue says we've been getting hit. Really, all the way up there? Shit. Hey, Maya. Hey, Marie. Are you doing good over there, Marie?
I know it's bad in North Carolina, too, in some places.
Yeah, it is. I was watching the news in North Carolina today, and it was really bad. Oh, my heart.
Wow.
You know what's crazy is I'm like, oh, God, I hope all the animals are okay.
I know. Same.
No, I really hope everybody's okay. And the animals, too. Oh, just rain in general. Okay. Oh, damn. Okay, so Ohio and Pennsylvania. Yeah, okay. We're going to do a little experiment tonight, and it's kind of like, I was hoping the people in chat could participate in this. We try to really kind of stay neutral. And yeah, we go into the shit talking channels and we have a good time or whatever. But as far as the case is concerned, I know I am pretty in the middle. I don't think either parent, is responsible or whatever. But I think that each side has said some, pretty crazy shit. But I don't think that they're necessarily responsible for the disappearance of Sebastian. So I figured we would do an experiment tonight. And I want to start with just a little kind of presentation that I made about critical thinking. And oh, hey, are you in here, Gianna, or no? Oh, okay. Well, if you want to, whatever. Start with like a little presentation about some critical thinking pitfalls that I know I fall under. I'm certainly guilty of it, and I know most people in the chat and on the panel are also guilty of these things. Two of the bigger ones that I think we run into are groupthink and confirmation bias. And these are, I know this is kind of boring, you guys, like it's not like exciting, and we're not talking about like criminals and whatnot, but it's so important when we're discussing cases to keep these like concepts in mind. So I just wanted to go over it real quick. And I'm not like a psychologist or anything like that, but critical thinking is like something I read about a lot, something that I'm interested in, because I wonder sometimes, like, why do you think like the way you think, or why do you feel so negatively about this person? They haven't done anything to you, right? Or whatever. Yeah. So I always try to think about like, where's that coming from? And I think a lot of it comes from groupthink and confirmation bias. So we're just going to go over it. It's not long. It's kind of a silly thing. So this is groupthink. Okay. Like you're in a meeting, right? Or a group chat like we are right now. Right. And because this is my channel, we'll call me the leader of this group. Okay. And I know I'm not, okay. I'm not a leader, but just for this experiment, we'll call me the leader. Okay. And basically what happens is I'll say something, right? And because people in the chat and on the panel want to belong and have a sense of community and solidarity, they're going to agree. They're going to agree, right? Even though they might be thinking, oh my God, this is a horrible idea. Cult leader, exactly, barbecue. A cult leader is actually the perfect example of groupthink. In fact, if you read about groupthink, cults are going to come up. And I think in this situation, that's a little extreme, like we're not cults or whatever, but think of it that way, right? So, and there's often a common enemy. And as in this case is concerned, there's the dark side, right? Which is the people on like the Proudfoot side. They're the dark side, and they're the right side, right? So, and silent, like if I say right now, John Bigelow is responsible for Sebastian's disappearance. I don't know. I just made the name up. Okay. Most of the people in the chat are going to be like, oh my God, yeah. And people who disagree might just be like quiet. And because they didn't speak up, me as the leader is going to be like, everybody agrees with me. I must be right. All right, we're going to do this. John Bigelow, he's responsible. And I can only speak for myself, but I know many of us want to be part of a community. We want to belong. We want to have camaraderie, right? See, barbecue, and that means that you're critically thinking. That means that you are questioning things. And me as a leader might be like, well, fuck her. Why isn't she falling in line? Do you know what I mean? And it's good that you guys do that. It's good that you question.
Creates a divide, and we see a lot of that.
Right, yeah. And we see a lot of that. And again, I'm guilty of it. I know many of us are. We want to be, we want to belong. We want to be a part of something. We all want to be seen as like, yeah, I get it. I understand, even though we might not, right? And I'm telling you right now, for me, and like the community that we build over here, I don't want that. I want people to challenge and ask questions and disagree with me if I'm acting a fool. Because you're doing me a favor. I don't want to act a fool. if you disagree with something I say, I don't want anybody to ever feel like they can't be like, hey, buddy, that, I don't know if I agree with that. And it's all in your approach too. You can't be like, you're a stupid bitch. I'm going to get my hair up about that, right?
Right. I mean, nobody wants to be called a dum-dum.
Right. Nobody wants to be called stupid. But it's all in your approach. And so groupthink is maybe, Carl, maybe you are thinking, critically from the start. Who knows, if you can't beat them, join them. Yeah. And the people that the approach is everything. The people that join them and instead of beating them are just as bad. So a lot of the times there's direct pressure on, let's say Pam, to suppress her opinions, right? Because she's scared because everybody's agreeing with me, right? And if Pam is the only one who's sitting there going, God, I don't know she might be afraid to say something, right? And I think that's what happens in a lot of these discussions, and not necessarily about Sebastian, but, across the genre, right? And there's also like mind guards, and in this case, we'll call those mods, right? And they'll just be like, we got to protect body, right? We can't we're going to mute this person because they're just disagreeing with everything body's saying. We're going to mute them. And that's also bad. Now, if somebody's trolling, that's a totally different story. We don't want those people around. But having a disagreement about like information about a case, that's not, that's not bad. It's not a bad thing. Where did my chat go? There it is. Okay. So in this case, mods are the mind guard. So they'll protect me in this experiment from people coming at me for whatever reason. And we have to be careful just not to fall into those pitfalls. It can occur in any genre. If this channel was about cars, right? And I said Mustangs are the best, but this guy in my chat drives a Porsche, and this other guy drives a Porsche, they might be like, but they're afraid to say something. So it happens in every genre. It's not just, true crime or Sebastian. It's everywhere. It's rampant. And not every channel succumbs to this, right? I'm not talking about specific creators either. I'm not attacking anybody. I want to be clear. That's not who I am. I'm not an attacker. That's true, Cheryl. Mustangs do rock. Hey, Odessa. Oh, thank you. I wish it would have actually done any good. We all know trucks are the best. Apple versus Droid. Yeah, that's a great one. That's a great one. And I think Apple versus Droid is really kind of like more confirmation bias. We're going to get into that next because confirmation bias is my favorite one. Confirmation bias. I can't be wrong if I only consider evidence that confirms what I already believe. That's confirmation bias. So let's say I think Chris and Katie Proudfoot are guilty. Let's say, right? I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to search Chris and Katie Proudfoot guilty Sebastian Rogers. And it's going to return the results that I'm expecting. It's confirming what I already believe, right? And that's a bad example, but that's just an example of confirmation bias. It's the tendency to process information by looking for, so like in this case, Google, or interpreting information that is consistent with your existing belief. Yeah, Nikki, 100%. This causes you to have a bias towards your original position because you only seek out information that supports one idea. It sure does, Marie. It sure does.
And you could miss other very important information.
Right. Google is so fucking smart, you guys. Like, imagine knowing what people in the universe, or on the planet Earth, I should say, want to find. Right? Because they were the first search engine to like monetize searches and stuff, like knowing what the Americans, let's say, are looking for. If I know what Americans are looking for, I can sell that. Anyway, I'm getting off tangent. This is just a meme, but I really like it. Confirmation bias websites, and then she's looking at most of Facebook. So funny. And this is like a really good example. So this is a guy, and he's got the Flat Earth Society button on, right? Oh, thank you, CJ. I'm just trying something different tonight. We'll see. I might change it up a little bit. So he's sitting at the library, okay? And he's got the Flat Earth Society like pin on, and he's got all these books around him. All these books about a sphere. There's a globe sitting there. 3D books. The solar system is sitting there, and he's reading a book that says the Earth is flat. So he has all this around him to look at, but he's looking at what he wants to know, what he confirms. So he's confirming his own bias. And flat Earth is a really good example, because if I believe the Earth is flat, I'm looking on Google, flat Earth, right? And I'm going to get pictures and whatnot of flat Earth. I'm not going to really be presented with things that that tell me the Earth is a sphere. Yeah, poor Nikki hurt herself. She's taking a little break. So anyway, that's it, y'all. That's it. I mean, I wanted it to be really quick, but the rest of the evening will be things that kind of feed into this critical thinking thing. I'm not sure of anything. I'm really not. So back in 1994, there was a case of 2 little kids that went missing, and the mom and dad were pleading for help on the microphones. Mom was saying that she got carjacked, by a black dude, and that her kids were in their car seats, and that she begged him, give her a minute to get the cars out, or the kids out of the car, and he was like, no, I got no time for that. I won't hurt them, and took off in the car. And exactly, Tap Mom. And the reason I wanted to play this is because she was on TV crying. She was with her husband, who had nothing to do with it. She unfortunately drove her own children into a lake.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of the times we'll hear things like, Katie doesn't even get on TV and cry, or I mean, that's a little specific, but Katie's not out there searching, or Katie this, Katie that, Katie this, Katie that. Oh, did you, Maya? Smart. And getting in front of microphones and crying doesn't always mean innocence, you guys. But that's a common excuse as to why people think Chris and Katie Proudfoot have done something. Am I saying they haven't? Nope. I have no idea. But I'm not saying they have either.
Yeah, she doesn't seem upset enough. She's not talking enough. She's not going,
Right.
and she's not giving us the answers that we expect her to give us enough. And
Right.
so people want to think she's guilty.
And then, and then there's the example of Seth, right? Seth was having fun at the brewery. Well, he's allowed to have fun, you guys. Like, just because he's not in front of the cameras crying all the time doesn't mean he did anything, right?
Yep.
I don't know. Just kind of things I want people to keep in mind. It's a very short clip. I just want to kind of play it, if you guys don't mind.
Police say Smith admitted killing her son.
I 100% agree. You know what I would like, and I can't I can only do on my channel what I want to do, and from this point forward, I'd really like my channel to be a place that I won't be embarrassed if Sebastian sees it. And I have
I think
every
that's a great point.
every reason to believe, and I'm hoping that he is alive and well. And if he is, and he happens to be on YouTube one day, I don't want him to be embarrassed by my channel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. And here's the other thing too. I'm gonna make mistakes along the way, and we all are. And if I do, I don't want anybody to feel they can't tell me, hey, you went too far, or, you know, I don't know. Because it's gonna happen, right? I mean, fuck. I'm human.
Well, yeah, and we do, do that with each other, I think, pretty well. And we don't
Yes,
always
I agree.
agree, and we
don't
might
always agree.
do things, and sometimes others have to reel us in, and
So, I mean, I would really just like a community that Sebastian would be proud of. And
I
whatever.
agree.
I don't know.
I do
So
too. I love that.
and I have every reason to believe that he loved his parents, right? Like, he loved them. And I don't know that he would want any of us to do what we're doing, right? Now, does that mean we can't be critical? Sure. Absolutely. Certainly, but I just feel that I just don't want to be embarrassed when he's found. Now, I don't care about being wrong. If either parent is guilty and I'm wrong, I'm not going to be embarrassed by that. Right? I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would be embarrassed about is if I was blaming a parent and they were innocent. That's what I would be embarrassed about.
And if you were blaming a parent, and the one you were advocating for the most was the one that
Right.
did it.
If I was riding hard for, I don't know, Seth, and again, I'm just picking him, and he did something, I would be mortified.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I know Seth loves Sebastian, and I know Sebastian loved him too. You know, as far as I can tell, by all accounts, he loved his parents. And if I'm to respect Sebastian, who this is supposed to be about, I know. Yeah, Cal, that is such, oh my God, Cal says it's a hard reality to know that Sebastian will be coming back to a different life or world regardless. We should all aspire to ease that transition for him.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. And here's the thing, I know both sides care about Sebastian. I know they do. Absolutely. I know they do. And I'm not talking about any specific creator. I'm guilty of it. I'm talking about me. And when you do, well, I'll talk about this later. But yes, thank you, Cal, for that reminder. And I want people to feel welcomed and okay in saying, you might be wrong about that, body. Like, you're a little fucking out there. I'm okay with you guys saying that. I don't want anybody to feel just because I have a fucking microphone that I feel like my opinion matters more than most, because I know it don't. Brandon is my fucking spirit animal. I hate being wrong. Hence, sometimes it's better not to voice your opinion. That's so fucking true, dude.
Well, I mean, I have a lot of theories and speculate a lot, and some things I wouldn't, say publicly,
Yeah.
because
And
I am
maybe
wrong.
that's why from the moment the Amber Alert was released, I was like, he left. He left on his own somehow. Like, and that's been my stance the entire time, and I have not moved from that stance. Whether he was lured out or ran away, I don't know. I don't know. B Tim made a really good point the other day. He said, if Chris and Katie Proudfoot did something to him, he had his glasses are gone, right? wouldn't his, like, I don't know, I just think that's a weird detail. His glasses are gone. So he had his glasses on. Whenever he left the house, whatever, in a trunk of a car or a runaway situation, whatever, his glasses are on. And I just found that interesting. Yeah. That's
That's
credit to be
possible,
Tim. I
Glenda.
didn't. Yeah.
Maybe he never did go to bed. He just waited
Maybe
for his
not.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Right.
good point.
Yeah. Oh, I feel that. I feel that. I do. I absolutely feel that. I know there's a lot of grifting going on. And there's a lot of grifting going on by almost everyone involved. And but here's my thing. I don't usually talk about money because it gets really fucking messy. You know? It's crazy. Like, I don't know, it's just really fucking messy. And I don't know his situation, so I try to stay away from that. All right, so we're gonna play this. We're gonna play this real quick, guys. Okay.
Sons, 3-year-old Michael and Alexander, who was just over a year old. The Union County Sheriff says Smith is repentant and heartbroken. Her car was pulled from a murky lake Thursday. The bodies of the boys were strapped in the back seat. An autopsy revealed the boys were not killed beforehand. They drowned. In West Palm Beach, Florida, a mother has been charged with killing her child. 24-year-old Pauline Zile is being held without bail. Police arrested her at her attorney's office Friday. At first, she told authorities her 7-year-old daughter was abducted from a flea market, but she later recanted and told police her husband beat the child to death. John Zile then led authorities to the body. He is charged with murder. The jury in the
Police let me take them, and he said no, we didn't have time because they were in car seats, and it was going to take time for me to get them out of the car seat. And they just told me, he said, but I won't hurt them. And he just took off. But he had a gun, and my big thing is they were screaming, hollering, crying, and I'm just scared that he just lost his patience or something.
I plead to the guy, to the man, me and my wife plead to him to please return our children to us safely and unharmed. We love our children very much, and we want them returned to us safe and sound.
Pray even now for their safe return.
Thank you.
Was last seen wearing a red and white striped outfit and a blue and red coat.
An investigation where the suspect is unknown, where you don't know where he's liable to turn up, there's not a lot more than you can do. Is take the complaints, follow up on them, develop your leads, develop your suspects, and rule them out one at a time. Slow moving. I have to apologize. There's nothing more that can be done for that. But like I say, it's a classic investigation. It cannot be run any different anywhere else.
Pray most of all for them, and that they are being taken care of, and that they are safe, and that they will return home safely.
See the fake crying? Are we
Mhm.
taking note?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Thank you. Hi, Saren, my love.
I want to say to my daddy that your mama loves you so much, and your daddy and his whole family love you so much. And you guys have got to be strong because you are. I just know, I just feel in my heart that you're okay. But you got to take care of each other.
So this is groupthink, right? So if you are a person who believes Chris and Katie Proudfoot are guilty, and you're watching a YouTube channel that is saying things like they don't go to vigils, they're not in front of cameras and begging for their return, they're not this, that, the other. Donna, I was just going to talk about him, Chris Watts, right? Then in the comments, you're in your mind, you're gonna be like, that's right. That's fucking right. Right? Oh, you know what? I was supposed to play that. Thank you, Saren. I thought I had it looping, but I guess I didn't.
Susan, yesterday I know authorities searched your house inside, outside, underneath. Were you there at the time, and do you know what they were looking?
See, they're talking about searching the house. Right? This is playing out just as Sebastian did.
For?
No, ma'am, I was not there, and I did not know. I did agree, sign a form for them to do that. I was aware they were going to do that, and I understand that's just one of the normalities they have to do in any investigation.
Sources close to the investigation, Susan, told NBC News that federal agents are focusing, in fact, on the relationship between you and Mitchell Sinclair, the man that you were going to visit that night, the man you said you were going to visit with your children. They told NBC that there were inconsistencies in your stories. Do you know what inconsistencies they were referring to?
No, ma'am, I really do not know that. But I would like to say.
Susan Smith has been.
I will never forget this because we were about the same age. I'm 50, so I just never forget this.
I won't either.
And will be charged with 2 counts of murder in connection with the deaths of her children, Michael 3 and Alexander 14 months. The vehicle, a 1990 Mazda, driven by Smith, was located late Thursday afternoon in Lake John D. Long near Union. 2 bodies were found in the vehicle's back seat. Identities are pending an autopsy.
She needs a psychiatrist. She needs something worse than that. I've never heard anything like this. This is the worst way that Union County could ever be brought up to use. It hurts to know that somebody would do that to a young baby.
Some folks in the black community tonight tell me that there will be much healing to be done here, and it's going to take quite a while. Let's listen now to some folks, both black and white, how they feel that this healing will take place here in Union County.
They always accusing black people of doing things that they do themselves.
Anytime you say black man and white woman, it's all over.
Yep.
I agree
This
with that.
woman is- Let me tell you something.
Crazy. Wow.
This woman speaking is 100% right.
Yep.
Susan Smith knew how to activate rage, right? Blame the
Yep.
black man. Disgusting.
You know, I mean, that's my opinion. Anytime you say a black man, that's it. And that's why a lot of us are single now. All of our men are locked up. Some of them are innocent.
She wouldn't have testified that she done it. They still would be looking for this suspect. And she could, have got away with it.
I thought the reason that she did that was because it was an easy way. I just don't want them to believe that somehow what the mother did in any way diminishes the quality of the character, the courage of what they did. And
I mean, this was such a big deal. The president of the United States got involved, you guys. This was a huge case. Huge.
so my thoughts and prayers are with them today. And I would hope the American people would feel that way as well. I think we were all moved and deeply impressed by how that community responded in this.
Don't. Maya, Marcellus Williams, I can't. I cried about that. I cried about it.
Awful turn of events. Cannot undermine that.
It qualifies as a death penalty case. Under South Carolina law, we have a number of aggravating circumstances that would allow it to be a death penalty case. But again, it's my policy to not just shoot from the hip until I've seen all the facts. I haven't read all the reports.
That's right, Miss Upper Thigh. Marcellus was murdered by the government. Marcellus was murdered by the government and society, actually.
Yeah.
I wish I could pin that forever. Can I? Oh, did that work?
It's still up there.
Fuck yeah. You guys. That's a whole nother. I would have taken those. I can't have children, and I would have done anything to have children. I would have done anything. I would have taken them. She could have called me. I would have been like, I'll be there 20 minutes, sign over.
With his client, then Mr. Bruck, as I understand it, is waiving the bond hearing at this time. Based on the representations of counsel, then Ms. Smith will remain in the custody of law enforcement and remain in detention until there's further motions brought before this court.
It will be a long time before any of us can even begin to think about overcoming what has happened to us. We have no answers as to what happened. We do not understand why.
Look at those beautiful babies.
They were absolutely beautiful.
They must have been terrified. Absolutely fucking terrified.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's in, and we all know about the Chris Watts case. I'm sure we all followed that, right? And he was on that porch on the news begging for the return of his wife and children. So it's not always what you think, right? And I think we're all like little sleuthers at heart, and we're all. I'm sorry, Stephanie. It's upsetting, I know. We all want to know the answers, and we all want to be the first to have the answers, right? But things aren't always as they appear, right? So in this case, my little spreadsheet, I would be like, Susan Smith was crying. She must not be guilty, and I would have been wrong about that.
Right.
So it's just things I want to keep in mind. So if the Proudfoots are innocent, or if Seth is innocent, not only are they missing the most important thing in their life in dealing with wondering every night is he okay? Like, where is he? I hope he's not scared. I hope he, they're also dealing with all us assholes blaming him.
I could not imagine. Ugh.
And again, I'm guilty too. I'm not saying
yeah.
But law enforcement has said that the parents are being cooperative, right? They haven't said this parent isn't being cooperative. This parent isn't doing this. This parent isn't doing that. They haven't. But what we see, right, is Seth going on the news a lot, getting on panels a lot, and in many cases acting a fool.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but here's the thing. That's our opinion. That is acting a fool, right? But for him, this could just be like getting attention for, his missing child, right? We don't know. And we see the Chris and Katie Proudfoot not being in the cameras at all. But when they do show up, for instance, we learn from Barbecue Lady, and I'm not telling any secrets, she said this many times, they showed up to help and they asked the cameras to stop filming. So we don't know what they're doing, right? They could be meeting people like Barbecue Lady every week and giving them a stack full of flyers and helping and taking people to lunch, and we just don't know. Here's the thing. They just don't want to be filmed doing it.
I do want to mention this too, because I've seen Crack the Cold Case mention, the Proudfoots being guilty, and then ask the question about Seth and a motive. Motives are not necessarily always there. There's not always a motive to do something like this.
Well, I think motive is interesting though. Like, if the parents are guilty, what would be the motive? Right? What would be the motive?
I mean, I think I have a pretty good. I think I have a pretty good idea when we talked about this what I think motives are, but I also don't think there necessarily has to be a motive.
Well, there doesn't, but juries sure do like them.
They sure do.
There doesn't have to be.
Really for the jury. I mean, it could just be something even simple as I just don't want to deal with it. That could be a motive. It could be,
Well, and there's a lot of things too that we probably don't know on the internet, right? About their relationship that hasn't been stated. Now, we do know that Seth does seem pretty spiteful. He has said really bad things about Chris and Katie Proudfoot, but Chris Proudfoot, specifically on Cluminati's channel, asked everybody to be kind to Seth. Right? But Seth has been very kind of accusatory of Chris and Katie Proudfoot, which leads me to my next topic.
Yeah, Barbie said, what is the risk versus the reward? That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know. I see. Crack the Cold Case. That seems kind of absurd to me, but I don't, maybe I'm wrong. I just feel like him doing something with his son to get back at his ex-wife is so out there, right? I just feel like that is so outrageous. Like, I just can't imagine that that's something let me change screens here real quick, guys. Hold on. What am I doing here? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, let's just say something happened and it was an accident. There's no motive there. It was an accident. The cover up, if that happened, would be a different scenario, a stretch into a motive to cover it up. If he walked away on his own and succumbed to the elements somewhere, you know.
Is the music bad, you guys? Should I stop it?
I like it.
It's fine. I like it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I could maybe. I think there is no crime being committed from the parents. Now, a more logical motive from my mind is that he was lured out, a predator, something, right? There's
some crime with a personal business that was told on the internet, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's a really good. So we were talking last night about evidence on devices, right? And people were asking me, because I'm a gamer, you know, I have a Switch, I have a PS5, you know, whatnot. And yeah, there's chat enabled in these games. Now, you can play single player and not have chat, right? But we learned from Seth that, and I don't have the clip, but I will find it. That Sebastian, when he was at his house, would play under his account, which was like the master account, right? So if Seth was at work or something, and I don't know if Seth worked when he had Sebastian, I'm not sure of his days off and all that. But if Seth was at work while Sebastian was at home, Sebastian could very easily play Minecraft multiplayer or Roblox or Fortnite or Among Us and chat. Now, would there be evidence on the device of that? Yes, there would be evidence on the device that he entered a multiplayer game, but I don't think there would be evidence on the device that he was chatting with somebody, but the servers would have that evidence. And I'm certain law enforcement is looking at that. I'm certain of that. I'm absolutely certain of that. We also learned from Seth that, you know, Sebastian didn't even have headphones or a microphone. Well, we know that's not true. And Seth knows that's not true. Because your controller has a microphone. And the Switch has a USB-C but here's the thing, you don't need a microphone to chat either. So throw the microphone out. Throw the microphone away. You don't need a microphone to fucking type. Right? You just don't.
No.
Oh, did he? Okay. Brandon, okay. Help me with this. Those parents that think parents have nothing to do with it. So why would parents leave town and grandparents quickly? That's a really good question. Correct the cool case. So go ahead. No,
I was just going to say, so imagine they are innocent and this is a situation where he just walked out, and the amount of hate that they're getting, the death threats, the accusations, all of those things, you know, eventually someone has to go back to work. I'm assuming that CP, maybe she really was scared to be alone by herself, and maybe they really are trusting in their local law enforcement. I don't know that we really know enough to judge them on that. And that's just my opinion.
And I did look into the grandparents leaving town because I thought that was very sus as well. And it was prearranged because Mr. Bowersox works in Alaska every year. And like every year. And so it was already prearranged that they were to go. Yeah. So once I learned that, I was like, okay, you know. I didn't think it was so suspicious then. And when something like this happens, no, crack a cool case. I welcome I really do mean it when I welcome like dissenting opinions. I truly do. So please don't ever feel sorry for disagreeing or asking questions, like, ever.
Yeah, I agree. And with that being said, listen, there are a lot of things I'm like, well, that's odd from the Proudfits, or that's odd
So the
from Seth.
the Proudfits left. I have it in the spreadsheet. Let me go get the spreadsheet. Oh, where is it? Sebastian. Let's go look, y'all. Let me present it. Share screen. It wasn't for like weeks until they left. So he went missing on the 26th, right? They left on the 24th, almost a month later. It wasn't days. It was almost a month. So that's just like a good example, right? Like, people have heard they left a week after, or they left whenever. No, they left a month after. That's a really good example of, this is what I mean by like an experiment, right? Oh, thank you so much for that, Annie Forever Day. Is that, wait, no, Annie Forever Gray? Amy? Girl, it's hard to read that font. Allie. Okay, thank you. I'm old. I can't read it. Oh, Maya, I requested access to one of them. I couldn't read. You're good. 30 days is a while, right? Like, and you know, law enforcement, and I know this. One of my cousin went missing, and he was missing for 20 years. And law enforcement will tell you not to search. Let law enforcement handle it. Let and I know every mother is like, I could never. I would be out there every single day looking. I get it. I totally get it. But when you're actually faced with the reality of maybe not finding your son, or finding your son and coming up upon his body, let's God for fucking bid.
Yeah, you can't erase that from your
You
mind.
can't erase that.
You know? I think law enforcement probably would rather, for a lot of reasons, but I don't think they want any parent to be the one to find their child in those conditions.
I mean, I just can't imagine.
I can't either.
Now, my cousin was taken by his father. And back then, this was prior to, you know, things changing. I mean, I was a baby when this happened. My aunt was like, I know his dad took him. I know his dad took him. I know his dad took him. And they were like, well, it's his dad. Not much you can do. I mean, it was a long time ago, you guys. I was a baby. This was 50 years ago. And then when he turned 20, his dad died, and he learned the truth about his mom. His mom didn't give him to his dad, and his mom didn't die, and reached out to my aunt. But we didn't have him for 20 years and always kind of wondered, like, what the fuck, you know?
Wow.
Took him to California from Ohio, where my aunt lived.
Wow.
And there's always, and my aunt was a shell of a person the whole time. She was very much like Amy Proudfoot. She was not the person I saw in old movies, and you know, she just wasn't. Just wasn't the same.
I don't know if there are any plans. Shay has a question. Are there any plans for searching around Seth's home? You and I were thinking the same thing. You just put it out.
You know what?
I wonder about that.
I don't know. You know what's interesting, Shay? I watched the what is it? The footage of Bullhorn Betty's arrest. And Seth, and that happened in the city that Seth lives, Clarksville. That's where the brewery is. And the police department, the officers that showed up, like Seth Rogers introduced himself. He was like, my son is missing. And they were like, who? I mean, I was shocked.
So was I.
I just found that very interesting that they had no idea who Sebastian was, especially since the FBI poster has been updated to say Sebastian has ties to Clarksville. And I get street cops, patrol officers, things like that, but I still found that really fucking interesting. There's only like a couple like nationwide Amber Alerts, right? And Elijah was one, and Sebastian was the other. You would think, especially with his ties to Clarksville, that the local police department would know about Sebastian. Did anybody else find that interesting?
I did, yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And as far as I know right now, it's turkey season. It's turkey hunting season. I asked Crabtree when deer season starts, and he told me, but I forgot. I think it's October. Yeah,
it's usually around my birthday, which is the end of October.
I just found that really, really interesting. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be any searching around Seth's home. I don't know. I know Cluminati had mentioned that she wouldn't even know where to start in Clarksville. It's a minute away. Like it's not super close, but it's also not super far. They B. Tim on Clue said they only saw a few signs in Clarksville. Okay.
Did it flood there today?
I don't know. I mean, maybe a good start would be a 5-mile radius from.
I kind of wondered because Clue didn't go live today. Clue did not go live today. I hope she's okay. I hope everybody's okay that lives there, but like I don't know. I don't know if it flooded or not. 3 signs. Okay. Bow, muzzle, loaders, and gun. Muzzle loader. Okay. I think Barbecue Lady mentioned yesterday on Queen's panel that she's going back down. I don't know when. I thought about. Let me show it. Let me go get it. You guys are seeing this, right? No, you're not.
Yeah, I thought it was in October. Sometime is when she's going again. She said there's a group of them going.
Oh, you guys can't really see that, can you? Let me open it up another way. Let me open it another way, y'all. Give me a sec. There is another vigil planned for Saturday, November 9th, which is about a month and a half away, maybe a little less than a month and a half.
Yeah.
At the brewery. I hope that he's found by then.
So do I.
But I don't know. I think it's kind of strange to have a vigil that far out. And, I mean, usually these vigils happen within a couple days of the kid going missing or whatnot. It's the same brewery. Yeah. I think they're kind of like donating their. Yeah, I know. It's kind of strange. I will agree. It is strange.
Oh, well, listen, it's, we warmly invite every member of the community and surrounding to come together for a ride and vigil in the honor of Sebastian. It's time to bridge our differences and embrace the power of prayer.
And I do agree with that. It is time to bridge our differences.
It is.
I do.
It is.
100%.
I hope that's, yeah.
It's that, see, that's the thing. I don't know if everybody's invited. I know that not everybody was invited last time. And they were raising money for the Marley's Motel, which I am never going to make fun of. Sebastian loved animals, right? Like, let's honor him, right? I'm not sure. But I'm not going to lie. When I thought about going, I thought about going. I'm not going to, but I have thought about it. Listen, it costs me too much money. With the dogs and everything, like it costs me $200 a day to board them.
I was gonna say, let me know if you change your mind, and I'll make a trip and I'll meet you.
Barbecue was like, just bring them. I'm like, girl, they are a fucking hot mess. My dogs are a fucking hot. I cannot bring them anywhere. You are going to be attending that vigil? Very good. I hope you do. I hope a bunch of people show up and support Sebastian.
So I don't know that this is a fundraiser. This one is just a gathering. It doesn't say. Yeah.
Where are the search efforts Seth and his team were to organize? I don't know. Tony has kind of made it clear that the search efforts are private in Seth's business. I'm located in Vegas.
Bullshit.
I'm located in Las Vegas. Clarksville bike groups are busy with the annual toy run. I'm not sure. But no, I'm in Las Vegas. In fact, there is I would reach out to if you want to help. If you want to help search, reach out to Crabtree. I'm sure he would. I know a couple people, I think mainly men, are meeting up with him. Like husbands of wives that follow the case are meeting up with him. I think soon. I don't know that case, Daniel Van Dam. I don't. I've never followed a missing persons case the way I followed this one. Oh, he's going to Clarksville tomorrow, SF? I thought he left. He's still down there? He's still down there?
I thought he left too. I thought he left today today's Friday. Maybe he decided to stay.
Maybe.
I thought so too. Maybe he decided to stay.
So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about investigations. So we learned from, I'm sure we all watched the Coffin Doofer interview with Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Right? And listen, Dog the Bounty Hunter is not a parent, so I can make fun of him all the fuck I want. And we learned early on that, like the day it happened, that all night intelligence, which is Nick the Hat and Dog the Bounty Hunter and all that, have been retained by Seth, right? And they came out blazing, right? Blazing at Chris and Katie Proudfoot. Now, don't you guys find that interesting that an investigative team, without doing any investigative work, is blaming one side prior to looking at the case at all? And we know they didn't look at the case at all because Nick the Hat's very first live, he got everything wrong about the case. Except that Chris and Katie Proudfoot are guilty. That's not how you do investigative. You don't go into an investigation with a predetermined outcome of who's guilty. You look at the evidence and you make a determination, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know from Dog the Bounty Hunter and how he got everything wrong too, he hasn't done shit either, except for blame Chris and Katie Proudfoot. And here's the thing: if you want to blame Chris, if you want to blame them, then have some evidence and do the work, right? Like, again, I don't know if they're guilty or not, but I'm not convinced because Dog the Bounty Hunter fucking said so. Like,
I know,
that doesn't convince me. It's like all of this is drama now. It's all crama, right?
It is.
I know it's just not impressive, Pen. I totally agree. And listen, I don't have issues with felons. Okay, I don't. Dog the Bounty Hunter, it was a long time ago. You know, I don't think he is, you know, a bad guy or whatever. That's not at all. I don't have issues with felons. I have many of my friends are felons. I'm not, but many of my, I haven't even never been arrested. I would cry like a bitch if I got arrested. Okay.
Yeah. So real quick, crack the cold case. I see some of your messages. They're just not showing up in the chat. I think there's keywords that prevent that from. So I'm seeing them. Nobody else can. Some of them. So I think it's filtering out some of the words you're using. Just an FYI.
I haven't seen those.
I see them. I see them. They're letting me know. It was hidden. Yeah, this one's hidden. This is a problem. Skip over them. Do your own investigation. But I think it's a couple of words, and that's why it didn't put it through.
Maybe. I don't have anything filtered, I don't think. But I just think it's a shitty way to run an investigation. And I think somebody convicted. Can we?
Yeah, I think it's dropping the F-bomb. I think that's probably why it's getting filtered.
Oh, maybe.
That's probably what it is. Okay, sorry.
I just think it's a shitty way to run an investigation, and I think somebody convicted of fabricating evidence, and kind of being a weasel is not the best choice to run an investigation. And I'm allowed to have that opinion, and I'm allowed to be critical of it. Now it's up to Seth. He can, you know. He can do whatever. It's his missing child, but I'm allowed to be critical of it. As long as my critiques are well-founded and within reason. I'm not going to attack him personally. I'm not going to, you know, say some of the things that other people are saying, but I'm allowed to be critical of that because it's very recent history. It's not 20 years ago, right? And it's my opinion. I just don't think he's the best choice.
Right.
But I want to let everybody know about the vigil. Because I don't think it's being shared everywhere, right? You know, there's an old. Let me see if I can find it. Let me go look. It's Jimmy Ione. Jimmy, I want to play you guys something. Ione racehorse. Yes, this is it right here. Let me scoot back. Let me stop that. Share screen. Racehorse with blinder. Share. Excellent. Okay, I want you guys to listen to this. It's very short.
When you're a racehorse, right? The reason why they put blinders on these things, because if you look at the horse on the left or the horse on the right, you're going to miss a step. So that's why those horses have fucking blinders on. And that's what people should have. When you're running after something, you should not look left and right. What does this person think? What does that person think? No, go. When you're a racehorse, right? The reason why they put blinders.
I love that.
I love that too.
That, right?
That's great. Yeah.
Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. do your own thing. Don't worry about, who said this, who did this, whatever. And I feel like when you're doing an investigation, that's what you should do. Don't worry about, what has happened. Worry about your own. Start at the beginning. As far as I know, Nemrek, yes. I know that unofficially, though.
Right.
I know that
And
unofficially.
I feel like Chris and Katie talked about that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, yeah, unofficially.
I know that unofficially.
Yeah.
I just think it's really good advice, right? I don't do official investigations, and neither is Nick the Hat. It's not official, okay? So I'm talking, peer to peer here right now, right? If I were to do an investigation, I would start from scratch. I would not feed in to a specific narrative. I would look into it myself. And because they have been retained by a parent that is blaming another side, I just think it's a terrible way to start an investigation. I just think it's terrible. What do I know, though?
I think things have gotten so crazy, too, that we just, that's kind of why we wanted to kind of go backwards and look at it all again, because it's been 7 months and so much has been happening. The drama has gotten so terrible. It's just kind of blurred all the lines. So
let me see. Hold on really quick. I'm going to play this again because I just love it. I want everybody to see this again.
When you're a racehorse, right? The reason why they put blinders on these things, because if you look at the horse on the left or the horse on the right, you're going to miss a step. So that's why those horses have fucking blinders on. And that's what people should have. When you're running after something, you should not look left and right. What does this person think? What does that person think? No, don't. When you're a racehorse, right?
I love it. I fucking love that thing. Yeah, I feel like there's something big we're all missing, you guys. Tunnel vision, yeah. I feel like there's something big we're all missing. I don't fucking know.
Did anybody else, maybe go ahead.
No, go.
The BHB body cam, one other thing, and I think most people probably would have just thought, okay, he's just making a joke. But when he made the comment that he was surprised they hadn't shown up at his house yet, that was surprising to me. And I'm sure he was just joking around with them. But
wait, what did you say?
On the body cam with Bullhorn Betty. Seth made the comment that he was surprised they had not shown up to his house yet. And that caught me off guard. Does anybody remember that?
I think he was talking about the trolls.
I know.
Like, I don't think he was talking about like the cops or anything.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, perception though. I don't know. I guess, but it was just something that caught me off guard.
And the swatting thing, I took it different, you guys. I know she said she was swatted, but I don't think Seth said he was. I think Seth said I could get swatted, and he was talking about it would be terrible because of my video games and my headphones and my blackout curtains. I don't think he was saying he was swatted.
I don't know. What I'm saying is, I guess I tend to sometimes look at things outside of the box. So I'm sure that's what he really meant. But then I'm also the kind of person like, but is that what he really meant? Is that what you really meant? That's just all I'm saying.
I will say that I don't believe any of the threats are real. I don't think people were shot at. I don't think belts of cars have been cut. I don't think tires have been slashed. I don't think people were sneaking into people's hotel rooms. I don't believe any of it. I believe none of it. I haven't seen a police report. I haven't seen any evidence, and I'm very evidence-based. You have to show me proof before I'm going to believe you. I'm naive with people and like relationships, but I'm not naive with evidence. If you don't have evidence, I don't want to fucking hear it. There's been no evidence of it. And why would somebody cut a serpentine belt rather than just slash tires? You're not going to crawl under a car that's parked. You have to be tiny to do that, right? You would have to be tiny, a tiny, tiny person to crawl under a car and cut a belt. It makes no sense. Nobody was shot at. It was turkey shooters. There's no evidence that anybody has been threatened. Zero. And the whole thing with Chris Proudfoot, you know, yelling at people and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. If untrained and uninvited dog handlers showed up at my house, I would chase them off my property too. Are you fucking kidding me? I would absolutely chase them out of my house. 100%. And people just kind of go, oh yeah, God, they're awful people. Oh my God, you know, like they don't care about their son. Come on. It's wild to me. Absolutely wild. You okay, Neil?
Yeah, my internet keeps like dropping in and out.
I would turn people away. Yeah, I can hear you. I would turn people away. Absolutely. I would absolutely turn people away. Especially untrained dog handlers with an agenda. Because you never know who, especially when everybody's out to get you, right? What are they? Yeah, it's totally okay to disagree. Please understand. I'm not mad. This is just my opinion. If there's people out to get me, and well, in general, right? If there's people out to get me, right? I'm not going to trust untrained dogs. I'm just not. I'm not going to trust it. And it's not his child. Let's be real.
Yeah, cold case. I struggle with that too. I do struggle with that a little bit too.
No, I'm not going to block anybody.
Yeah.
I feel you. I do understand where you're coming from. I understand why a stepfather would do that. I do. I'd be like, no, I don't think so. And as far as the other threats, like the slashing the tires, like I've never seen any proof of that. No. I have my own experience with somebody who said that they were threatened, and this person is unreliable in every capacity. You're right. I don't understand, but I'm also very logical, right? I can see somebody turning them away. Their property was thoroughly searched. I'm not going to let an untrained dog handler and untrained dogs just in my fucking house. That's just not going to happen.
So, are we to assume?
Assume what?
I'm just reading Cold Case's comments. We wouldn't understand if we weren't in that position. I don't know who Cold Case is. I hope that you've never been in that position. But I am reading your comments, trying to decipher them.
Yep.
Yeah, and
you don't know what law enforcement has told them. Like, don't let. So you don't have to be sorry. You don't know if they've said, don't let unlicensed private investigators, dog handlers, blah, 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 interfere with the investigation. You don't know. They've received threats, and that's been lots of fuckery behind the scenes. I'm not doing anything that Ellie deems something that would jeopardize the investigation. Let untrained dogs in when the handlers were, yeah.
Oh, interesting, Cold Case.
You know, my partner John Green, who I did the show with, Don't Fuck with Cats. He does that. He does identification for the Jane Doe Project.
I've just started I kind of briefly mentioned that to y'all today earlier with the name of stuff. And that's kind of what I've been looking at too.
Yeah.
And then, you know, ones without pictures, trying to figure out who they are if I can't, you know what I mean, to match anyway. So off subject, but that's interesting.
Yeah, Kim Holmes, especially when that dog handler came out very publicly on social media against Chris and Katie, and we were making the YouTube rounds. Yeah, uninvited, by the way. Uninvited. You know, people just insert themselves, right, in these high-profile cases. I mean, we're doing it right now, kind of, by talking about it. People just insert themselves, like they have a really high-level sense of importance. Like, oh, I'm going to solve this. I'm going to show up. Right. Listen, I've already been doxxed. I'm not worried about it personally. My name's Deanna Thompson. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I mean, it was on Netflix. It's you know, I'm not worried about myself.
She's kind of
no, what I'm saying is I did it myself because I took that power away from other people doing it, right? You can't threaten to dox me. I've already doxed myself, right?
Right.
It's your real name behind your screen name and in your, like, where you live, your occupation, your, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it's usually done with malicious intent. Like,
usually.
nobody's going to be able to hold, I know what your real name is, over my head. Like, ever. It's
I've
never
been
gonna
doxxed
happen.
too, and I think they were probably really disappointed. Ain't nothing interesting happening in this.
I know.
In my history.
Yeah, go ahead and run a criminal background check on me. I got nothing. Literally, I would throw up if I got arrested. I would be freaking out. I gotta say, I thought Bullhorn Betty handled herself very well. She was very composed in her arrest. I would be crying and screaming and throwing up and dry heaving and throwing a tantrum.
Yeah, nothing exciting happening over here. Sorry.
I'd be freaking the fuck out, okay? But you know, but she did mention that she was like, maybe I'm wrong, you guys correct me. Didn't she say that she had like bruises from the hand practice? What?
She had 42 practice runs, is what Brandon Mark
said. That is a fair point.
But I mean, I thought they were very nice to her. She has very white privilege there. But what did upset me was what she said after she got arrested, that's how you handle yourself with the police and you won't get shot. That comes from a very, very privileged. Breonna Taylor didn't do anything either. What was she doing when she was sleeping in her bed? Bitch. But I don't know how she was handled in the transfer from I don't know how she was handled in the transfer to Sumner County. I have no idea, because we haven't seen that. No, she's pretty terrible. But yeah, I still kind of believe Sebastian either in any capacity walked out the front door, whether it was to run away, which I don't think. Now we do have this. Let me get it. Where is it? Give me a sec, guys. Let me grab it. Oh, it's actually on my spreadsheet. Let me grab that. Sebastian. Did I label it as fuckery? I think I did. Let me show this real quick. present. Share screen.
Okay, so I think that's a question we all want to know. Where is he? Where is he at?
Why is this showing? That's not what I want to show. Chrome tab. There it is. Oops. There's this comment on Facebook that was made the day Sebastian went missing on the Sumner County Sheriff's Facebook page. Praying he will be found. My grandson Zach sends prayers too. I'm not sure if this would help, but Zach said before Christmas he kept mentioning about wanting to go to the forest through the door at the special ed room to hide from teachers and everyone. Zach changed schools after Christmas break. Zach said he always talked about liking to run a lot. I labeled this as fuckery because it could just be a troll, right? But it was made the day he went missing at like 7:30 p.m. or 7:20 p.m.
Yeah,
right?
it was that evening. The 26th.
Right. And I know, I think Stephen Fisher, yes, he was given that. Yeah, he was. I think Stephen Fisher actually wanted to talk to her. He does want that. Okay. It's on my spreadsheet. He has it.
Yeah,
He has
I
a
didn't
spreadsheet.
even remember this and found it and didn't realize you had it on the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I have it on the spreadsheet.
I think it's somewhat interesting for sure. For me personally.
I just don't
hearsay.
I have a hard time believing he walked out the front door and ran away because he just wasn't seen on camera anywhere. Right? Like, well, as far as we know.
Yeah, that we know.
And we don't even know if this is accurate, if this lady's telling the truth, right? We have no idea. Yeah, Pen. It's on my spreadsheet. In fact, if you guys want, I can show you the Facebook post. Would you guys like to see that?
Sure.
Yes.
All right. Let me share screen. Endangered child alert. This is before I got upgraded to an Ambler alert. There it is. That's the actual Facebook post. I'm on Facebook right now. So Sumner County Sheriff at 6:49 a.m. 16 minutes after the dispatch call? Endangered child alert. We need your help to find Sebastian Rogers, who is missing from the beach area in Hendersonville. The 15-year-old is 5'5", 120 pounds with dirty blonde hair, last seen wearing a black sweatshirt, black pants, unknown shoes. Sebastian was seen on 225 and may be in the area of Beach Shackle Island near Long Hollow Pike. That's where they live. Call Sumner County Sheriff's Office with information on his whereabouts. And they included 2 pictures. And there it is right there. There's the post. So I don't follow missing persons cases all that often, but I started following Sebastian, I think, a couple days after he went missing because he had autism. And I was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder in 2012. And so I just kind of followed it like casually. And then when Riley Strain happened a few weeks later, I noticed that everyone that I was following that covered Sebastian started following Riley Strain. In fact, my closest friends were. And I got kind of irritated. Not because Riley was getting attention, because I think he deserved the attention. But I just felt everybody kind of abandoned Sebastian. And I got in my feels about it. I took it personally. I don't know. I
mean, it's valid because...
Yeah, I took it personally.
Kind of did happen, you know?
Yeah. And so when all my friends kind of started talking about Riley, I started... No, Riley Strain was not first. Sebastian went missing on 2/26. Oops. Riley Strain went missing on March 8th. I took it personally, and I internalized it, and I just took it a little personally. I was hurt. I was a little hurt. And so I started digging into Sebastian kind of alone, and then, you know, yeah.
And then the mole came out, and
then the mole came out in July, and I had to work for Netflix on some of that stuff, and I got pulled away for a little while, and then when all that kind of was done, I was able to refocus on Sebastian, but I needed help because I had missed so much. And so I was like, I got my YouTube channel. I'm gonna start going on. I was going live on TikTok all the time, but I like TikTok a lot, but I hate the presentation. But I like the interaction with the commenters. And to me, lives are important because I really like to interact with people who comment.
So do I.
You know what I mean? And in TikTok, it's easier to do that than it is on YouTube. But I can't present anything. I can't show like this, right? So I just became super emotionally invested. Cricket. That's like the best way to say it. Yeah.
I think we are getting used to the chat though here on YouTube. I think it's getting easier.
I think it's getting easier. Yeah, it's getting easier.
It's a new platform. It's getting used to something we're not, accustomed to. We're getting there.
Nope, not today. 62 is 100% right. If you are running on emotion, it makes it impossible to see the truth. I totally agree. I do. I really do. And I know that I have fallen to my emotion many times. Many times. With Sebastian, specifically. No, it's okay, Carl. It's okay. I have it logged. I mean, that's why I don't remember things. I do. I remember stupid details. I can tell you what color buttons were on your shirt last month, but I can't tell you what color your shirt was. You know what I mean? Like, I remember really stupid details, so that's why I have to log everything in a spreadsheet.
I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah.
And talking to my cousin and his wife, sometimes those details are not necessary because I do kind of critique everything, and then our minds wander and we look at other things. But I'm kind of the same way. I think I'm a very good attention to detail.
Yeah.
With something.
Sometimes that fucks you up because you can't see
it does
the bigger picture, right? You only remember that detail.
Right.
So you have to, right. And so that's why I have to and that's why I have to have, so I'm an analyst by trade. And so what I do is I analyze big data sets, and I write predictive analysis programs to predict profitability based on trends and things like that have happened over time. And so for me, and because I've done that for so long and whatnot, and I'm pretty good at it, I kind of had the same work with true crime. And I'm using work in air quotes because I don't get paid for this. I'm not monetized or anything like that. So I work good with big sets of data, and the spreadsheet that we have is not a big set of data. It's very tiny. But because that's what I do in my profession and how I kind of operate, I kind of move that into my true crime analysis, right? Yeah, there was a lot going on. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Elizabeth. That was a crazy couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Madeline Soto. Oh, I did follow Madeline Soto. I didn't follow Caleb because and I also followed Elijah.
Yeah, I didn't really follow Caleb much at all, really.
I followed Why doesn't anyone discuss the cults in the area? Cricket, you got to tell me about this.
What?
I am obsessed with cults. Every cult documentary I devour. Girl,
me too. That's interesting.
You gotta tell me about these cults, girl. I need to know. I didn't know there were any. Listen, I didn't even know there were cows in Hendersonville. Okay, I had no fucking idea.
We should see if Cricket wants to it's the rituals or demonic ceremonies. Huh.
You got robbed by 5 guys? Oh my God. Mother of God, Emily, that blue bitch. Girl, I was obsessed with that. I joined the Reddit. I participated in the Reddit. I went to Facebook. I was obsessed with that. The Mother of God documentary on HBO. Oh, I watched it like 3 times. I was obsessed. Absolutely obsessed. You guys have to watch that dude, it was so good. I could talk about cult. That's, oh my God. I just really find it interesting. And maybe that's why I like the critical thinking stuff and the groupthink and whatnot, because it reminds me of cults, right? And I just don't know how people, it's almost like a frog getting boiled, right? Like they don't realize it's happening. I'm sure I did crack a case. I've been sick the last couple of days, so I haven't really been on my email. But I will tell you, I get cases emailed to me. Gosh, I probably get 4 or 5 a day. So I have hundreds of email requests that people want me to look at cases. And I have to say no to almost all of them because of my job. And I'm starting a new job in October from 7 to 9 every night. So my time is even getting smaller. Yeah, it's Sebastian leaving without his shoes. You know what the fox? Let's talk about Sebastian's shoes. Yes, I'm obsessed with Delphi. Delphi is my holy grail case. Okay, the shoes. Let's talk about Sebastian's shoes, you guys. We don't know if he didn't have shoes on.
Right, and law enforcement hasn't confirmed if he did or didn't.
Nope.
They wouldn't, in fact.
We don't know. There was a clip I saw a couple days ago. I'm going to find it. In fact, I added something to the spreadsheet, you guys. Let me show you. And we're going to do it right now. We're going to do it together, okay? I added a new tab called questions. All right. Let me zoom in a little bit because I don't think you guys are going to be able to see all this that great. Let's talk about the shoes. Confirm, gather data about shoes. So these are things that I want answers to. And obviously we're not going to have an answer to the shoes because law enforcement doesn't know either way, right? But let's talk about that.
Okay.
Yep. Katie said that, let's put that on the screen. Yeah, let's put that on the screen. Katie said he had just grown out of his, and she and Seth bought him new ones, 4 pairs. So what if Katie, oops, sorry guys, my phone. What if Katie hadn't necessarily thrown the shoes away, or maybe she thought she did and didn't remember? Could she be mistaken about the shoes? That's not what was said, Grape Pearl. Do you know what was said? We're going to find out. This is why we're doing the spreadsheet. Like, these are questions, right? Things that I want answers to. And they're just going to be like a to-do list, right? Like, these are things that we need to get like straight answers to. We have to go back and listen. Oh my God, you know how many interviews they've done? Ugh, I can't. But once I get all the stuff transcribed, which is on this tab, all the transcribes there, I'll be able to search them very easily for shoes. Transcriptions.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done quite a few already, and Niho's done some too. But I can search those folders. In fact, Niho, can you upload those? Right now they're on your drive. Can you upload them to the one I shared with you? Because I won't be able to search unless you upload them to my drive.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is kind of the point. Like, Seth took him to Boot Barn and bought him boots. I believe at the same time Katie purchased new tennis shoes. So they both had him covered. Makes sense? It does make sense. Yes. Katie said all his shoes were accounted for. Seth said Sebastian had new boots. But they were at Seth's, right?
Yeah.
He could have stashed an old pair anywhere for sure. Yeah. Especially if he's just grown out of them, right? Like.
Okay, so did he say that they were a little bit bigger than normal, the boots, or did I just make that up? I can't remember.
The boots were at Katie's? Okay.
Oh, they were.
Let's put that down.
Well, yeah, see, these are all things we gotta.
Yep, we gotta get answers to.
Yeah. Crowdsourcing, you guys. Y'all are amazing. Listen, this is what we're. Yeah.
Seth bought Sebastian new boots, but they were at Katie's, right? We're gonna get answers, y'all.
No, boots were at Katie's, one size larger Fiesta. 2 sizes too big. What somebody else says.
Well, I don't know that that's necessarily. Boots were at Katie's. Okay. Yes, they asked about the shoes in interviews. Yes, they did. But I don't have all the transcripts on my drive, so I can't search them for shoes. I mean, I can, but not at the moment.
Well, the reason I'm focused on the size, if they're a little bit bigger, is the boot print in the mud. So if they were a little bit bigger, and let's just say they were his, maybe they were easier to slip out of. Just a thought. Just a thought. I'm just talking.
I put something in back chat. He may have had socks on. Yeah, I just don't see. And additionally, didn't the dispatch call specifically say there was a footprint at that pond too? You guys, the dispatch call did say that there was a footprint, right? All we know is that law enforcement hasn't confirmed yes or no that he was wearing shoes or not. Irregardless of the shoes, though, do you guys really think that he left out the front door and just wasn't seen on camera, like all the way to the woods, or on the other side of some ridge without being seen on any camera? There is a creator, I don't remember who, but said the footprint at the pond was not Sebastian's. Okay. When the transcripts are all done, I can search for footprint. That's what we'll do. We'll do that. We'll search for footprint.
Yeah.
So I want to make a note.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We need answers on that for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, because it was very dark there. I agree. It was very dark there. I do agree. It was so dark. I think it's possible. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Also, his room is ground level. Yep, it is. But I still think he went out the front door. He's got a keypad. They lock. Well, The 2 keypads I have lock automatically, but they're different brands, and they lock automatically after I think 30 seconds or something. I think one is 30 and one is 45. Yeah, I have, Odin Girl. I've reviewed the full one. I think way too much attention is being paid to shoe socks. I kind of agree. It would be nice to know, though. It would be nice to know. I feel like he left with somebody, so do I. No scent hit by the dogs, though. That's another thing we need. Okay, listen. Chris Proudfoot had a call with narked divers, okay? Let's go look. Narked. Oops.
Yeah, I just watched that recently. Again.
Here we go. Narc divers are on, let's see, April 8th. And narc divers recorded the call without Chris Proudfoot knowing. Okay. And in that call, Chris Proudfoot, now listen, if there's no reason to suspect that he's lying because he doesn't know he's being recorded. He thinks he's just talking to a search team, right? And in that call with narc divers, he said the dogs did hit and they did have a scent. And I marked it on my map, the description. It's in red. And it's down the side of the house. So just down basically from the front door to the side of the house to kind of the drain ditch. Yes, Madge. Yes, exactly.
It was
3 dogs.
3 dogs. And I think the first day they all kind of hit the same location.
Yeah. And I can show you guys do you guys want to see it or no? The way it's just, let me just show it.
It might be easier. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
Show it. Yeah.
Let me copy, paste, and go. Why is it just chilling?
I don't know.
It's not going. There we go. Okay. So see this area in red right here? This like, I did my best to kind of interpret what Chris Proudfoot was saying, and so it might not be 100% accurate, you guys. So keep that in mind. But that red spot there, that red area is what he described. The sheriff said no because it didn't lead to Sebastian. Well, obviously it didn't.
But then they shot. So they came out the front, down the side, and this weird, and then they went across through the back to this back road up to the retention pond.
Is it possible he could have walked to a pond the day before? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I would think so. I'm going to say I don't really know a whole lot about, because I don't really follow missing persons cases. I don't really know a whole lot about dogs. I know about my dogs, but my dogs are lazy, pugs. They're not, bloodhounds and shit. I don't know. Katie Proudfoot said she gave them a blanket that was Sebastian's, but what if it wasn't? I mean, I don't know how to answer that. I'm not sure. VIC, that's a good question, but I don't know. I don't know that, wouldn't they have just gone right to Katie? Say it's her blanket. Wouldn't they have been like, here she is. She's right here.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know a lot about dogs, right? Yeah, my dogs, all they do is eat. I don't know a lot about these kind of dogs. I really don't. I'm really not qualified in any capacity to speak about it. But law enforcement does. And this is what happened. They really are leopard gecko. They really are keeping things close to the vest. I get it. But I still think law enforcement kind of feels like Sebastian is alive. Just that reward is... I believe right out front. That's a good question. Let's ask. Let's ask that. I'll put that on the spreadsheet after I'm done with this. Now, I did clarify the retaining pond is this one that they drained. This one. Pond 6. And this is the one that, no, there was never a dash cam, Peppy. I wish. This is the pond the dog supposedly jumped into. Have I got a copy of Nent's Friends? I think Barbecue Lady had it. I don't, but I'll ask her. I speak to her often. If he took the trash down the driveway, why shouldn't the dogs picked up that scent? That's a good question. That's an excellent question. Hey, Steven. What's up, buddy? Queen Bee has one? Okay. But yeah, it was this pond. How you doing, Steven? Are you doing okay? Are you flooding or anything? Or are you good? Is Hendersonville okay? I was thinking about you guys today. These are great questions. Really good questions. If he took the trash down the driveway, let's put that up there. I think that's deserving. If he took the trash down the driveway, why wouldn't the dogs pick up that scent? Maybe because, let's just talk it out. Is it because he wasn't wearing shoes and he was when he took out the trash? Old Hickory was let out 2 days in advance. I don't know what that means. Old Hickory. Is that a
name?
Oh, okay. Gotcha. No, I'm glad you're okay. Oh, Steven, I haven't seen anything, babe. And listen, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Steven, I'm going to play something for you. And I think you're going to like it. I want you to pay attention. All right? I want you to listen. I want you to put your listening ears on. Okay? Here it is. Let me turn the volume all the way up.
When you're a racehorse, right? The reason why they put blinders on these things, because if you look at the horse on the left or the horse on the right, you're going to miss a step. So that's why those horses have fucking blinders on. And that's what people should have. When you're running after something, you should not look left and right. What does this person think? What does that person think? No, go.
And I think that applies for you, doll. Don't worry about what this person thinks or what that person thinks. You just keep going. Okay? You did need it. I felt it. I felt you needed it. That's why those and that Jimmy Ione is partners with Dr. Dre, and he's like a billionaire. He knows what he's fucking talking about. Don't worry about what this person thinks or that person thinks. You just keep those blinders on and keep going. I steer an 8-man crew, and I'm always yelling at them not to look out the boat for the exact same reason. See? Look at that, Steven. Don't worry about it. But here's the thing. I'm the same way, dude. I'm the same way. And you know, Clue said a lot of nice things about you and Cletus. They said that you're genuine and you really just want to find Sebastian. And when you know you read something about you or you hear somebody talking shit or whatever, posting shit, just that shows who they are, right? It doesn't show it does not show who you are. It shows who they are. IMO Sebastian never made it home from Texas Roadhouse because of only. Why is he left with the shoes? Maybe he had a hidden pair. Yeah, I often wondered that too, but it's my understanding that law enforcement, what the fox, has the clothing that he was wearing from Texas Roadhouse. And in my opinion, if they have the clothing that he was wearing from Texas Roadhouse, that he did come home. But shit. You know what? Here's the thing. You could tell me Sebastian is golfing in Arizona, and I would be like, yeah, that's okay. At this point, anything could happen. Right? You're out there looking for Sebastian every day. Oh my God, look at this. Trevor's mom is fucking brilliant. Don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. Right. Now, Stephen, if I came to you and was like, hey, Stephen, what's this about? And maybe don't do that next time. You'd be like, oh, fuck, yeah, right. Because we have, you know what I mean? Like, but people that you don't give a fuck about, who cares what they think about you? And I don't think anybody else does either. I really don't. And here's the thing. I get my feelings hurt, and I get in my feels about stuff too when people say bad things about me, but I also know that I'm a good person. And okay, Booty, thank you. Interview with Seth, the first 1 month, I think. Did anyone notice the movement behind him? I didn't. I'll look though. Let me write that down. I didn't. I just feel like, yeah, let them talk. Exactly. I thought about getting a tattoo. Let them. If Ellie had the clothing, why did Terry Lynn go lie with finding Sebastian's pants? Think about it. Well, they had the clothing from Texas Roadhouse, law enforcement, not the ones he was wearing when he went missing. The clothes he was wearing when he went missing are not the same as the ones he was wearing at Texas Roadhouse. And we did confirm that with Seth. Seth said he had jeans on, I think, or khakis. I can't remember. Not the clothes he went to bed in. Anyway, I didn't want to be on here. I like to keep my lives like 2 hours because my butt starts to hurt after a while because I'm old and crotchety. But I just wanted to show the Susan Smith stuff. And Pen, you're the best. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I was thinking about Discord, and I thought it might be interesting to create one for this. I have one already. We'll talk about it. I run a tight ship with Discord. There's no drama or shit talk in it. It's literally only true crime. And I'm thinking about opening that up to some possibilities, but we'll talk about it. I know a lot of people are scared of Discord. But my Discord is like I said, a tight ship. We don't, there's no bullshit. Thank you, Joanne. And listen, if I do something that you guys think is fucking shitty or shady, tell me. Like I'm open to criticism and whatnot. Let's see, what did Carl say? Everybody's saying I'd not be confirming things by whatever Seth says. Well, that's true. That's a good point. Yep, that's a good point. I wouldn't be confirming things by anything anybody says, to be fair. Even the Proudfoots. Feisty, thank you. I appreciate that. We'll talk about Discord. I'll come up with something. Talk to the crew. We kind of run under the toxic true crime banner. and we don't have any leaders. Explain Discord. It's a chat, basically, Pam. It's a chatting app where you can upload files and read documents. And the Delphi trial is starting very soon, and I'm very into Delphi, so I'll probably be going live about Delphi quite a bit. And showing documents, and obviously all that stuff will also be in Discord. It's basically a place for people to congregate, and just chat. So like how you're chatting right now to each other is kind of like Discord. Yes, Delphi. Oh, I am. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that starts very soon. Anywho, thank you guys. I'll probably I think I might go live tomorrow and talk some shit. I'm kidding. Sometimes I want to. Sometimes I want to just talk shit.
I want to talk shit.
I've been wanting to talk shit. I'm just teasing.
Sometimes I just want to talk shit, so I'll just sit in the bushes and watch the hate channels and the dark side and the good side, and I'll just sit there and watch. And but I enjoy it all. I hope you guys have a good night and a fucking great weekend.
Like, yeah,
good night, everybody. Good night.
Bye, y'all. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.